What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Alanis Morissette, and more from her 1995 album Jagged Little Pill. Once again, big shout out to Yvonne for sharing this. And the next track is perfect. Perfection is inherently subjective, meaning something could be completely efficient, completely powerful, all with one set of characteristics and none of another, or not in a state where it's a more mixed and heterogeneous situation. But to say that something is perfect is to place a value judgment on it. It's to say that it is normatively desirable, and therefore it requires an independent, subjective observer. So, perfection is something that is more about perspective and labeling than it is about the actual entity or quality in question. Now, it's often seen as a scientific thing, oh, it's perfect, there's no flaw in this, it's exactly what it needs to be, there's no wasted motion and so on. But that would just be what that is. It's it's efficient, and the parts seem well suited to each other, and but to say that it's perfect is to say that I, as an observer, think that is desirable and good and something that you would want to see, or that might be beneficial or advantageous. So yeah, I would say that. I would also say that it's a kind of word that is often used sarcastically or ironically, and given the nature of just the couple of tunes I've heard, including the one I did know on some level going into this, though if you've seen my reaction to You Ought to Know, you'll know that I did not remember You Ought to Know, that I did not fully recall the intensity of that tune. But yeah, I would expect this to maybe be a bit ironic, to maybe have a twist along the way where it's oh yeah, it's perfect. It's so perfect that it hurts, and that it's, painful, and it's not desirable. So I could be wrong. It might be more genuine in terms of the application of the concept of perfection, but my suspicion is that it will be more complicated. Let's find out. This is Alanis Morissette. The track is Perfect, and it's from the 1995 album Jagged Little Pill.
Sometimes it's never quite enough. If you're flawless, then you're in my love. Don't forget to win first place. Don't forget to keep that smile on your face. Be a good boy. Try a little harder. You've got to measure up. Make me prouder. How long before you screw it up? How many times do I have to tell you to hurry up? With everything I do for you, the least you can do is keep quiet. Be a good girl. You gotta try a little harder. That simply wasn't good enough
The raw emotion of these lines,
to make us
the delivery.
proud. I'll live for you, I'll make it whatever was. If you're the best, maybe so am I. Compare to her, I'm doing this for you. Damn good, you make up for what I blow. What's the problem? Why are you crying? Be a good
Why are you crying? Was that the last line?
push a little farther down.
Is this a mother-daughter,
Wasn't fast enough to make us happy. We're still love you just the way you are. If you're perfect,
If you're perfect. Yeah, it sounds like a parent, if not mom, speaking to someone and perhaps being unfairly demanding or unhealthily critical. And it sounds like we're hearing a lot of it from the perspective of the parent, in the voice of the parent, but with an implication in the way the lines are delivered on perhaps the emotional impact on the child, and constantly being told it's not good enough, and it's not measuring up. But then it sort of became sweet and soft at the end, and it like, I love you just the way you are. If you're perfect, I don't know. There's still some moments in the phrasing at the very end where it's, I'm not quite sure where the sentiment is, but it felt like maybe, at least in some moments, there was a rapprochement, there was a recognition on the part of the parent or whoever the like senior figure is here, that maybe sometimes it's just enough if she is herself, and I don't always have to indicate or complain that she's not doing something as good as she could or as good as others do it. And I don't know, as I said, maybe I'm reading too much into it without fully understanding what's happening, but if some of those thoughts are on point, then the vocal delivery was very clever and very emotionally appropriate, where you can like feel the tenderness at moments, including the end, but you can feel the swirling mind of someone who's constantly being told, that no, it's not good enough, and no, like, why didn't you do it better? And also, again, the raw feeling that might lead to, the perhaps frustration or defiance or just outright anger. So yeah, curious to hear what people have to say about this, but it felt, again, like very personal. I know you want to know, people have some different theories about who it might relate to, but obviously, whoever the person in question might be, it's a very personally felt song, and in a different way, this felt similarly. Now, obviously, great artists can inhabit a character that doesn't necessarily speak to their experience autobiographically, but yeah, I don't know. I would feel this one, or I would not be surprised if this one was felt personally, because it is on some level autobiographical. So anyway, let me know what you think. Shout out to Yvonne once again. I do appreciate both sharing the music and the patience with this and with Vapids and so on. I will keep getting around to them. Yeah, have my word on that. And ultimately, I do appreciate the person that you are, in terms of the way you brought some of these deep dives to me, and the way you talked about the hip, and just making sure that I'm okay as a person, through emails when I was going through that tough time a couple months ago and so on. So yeah, big shout out to you on a personal level as well. Do let me know what you think of this tune. I will see you next time. Peace.